Sorry, I'm late, Carolyn.
That's okay.
We're recording.
Okay, it's 6:02 and I call to open the meeting for building and ground.
What's first on our agenda, Jack? Is it the
LCCD building.
LCCDC building? All right, I think there's a letter at your desk, if everyone wants to take a minute to read it.
We received it last week too from Jennifer. She sent it out to
so
us.
you're familiar with
Pretty
it.
much they'd like to stay there until the end of the year.
So what it means is, I think the transfer of the property will happen much quicker than that, okay? The county's got an attorney that's gonna write the deed. It shouldn't take much time, because it was just transferred from the school. So
Correct.
basically, you take the old deed and change the names and the dates and do the new deed. That should happen relatively quickly, and I dare say you will be the owner of the building prior to the December deadline that she mentioned. The question I have is, do you want to sign a lease for this short period of time?
I mean, what would be the there's no benefit to it.
It'll be a 2-month lease, and, you know,
Cause they're not on the lease now, are they?
Free. They're not paying anything to be.
yeah, they don't pay anything to the, I think one thing you may want to think about is any repairs or utility bills, and I think that they've asked us to pay utility bills. That would prevent you from having, if there was a lease, you'd be obligated as a landlord to do certain things. And I think it's probably best just to let her ride for a while and just not obligate the town to anything. And we'll certainly have insurance on it in case a tree hits it or something like that, falls on that rascal. But as far as timing and status goes, you'll own that building before December, okay, along with the rest of the property.
Say let it ride. I mean,
I said
If y'all got any plans for that building, Miss Williams, y'all
we
got?
really need to go in the thing because I'm
Yeah.
hearing that it may not be worth keeping.
That's what I'm hearing too.
And plus, it's an eyesore. I mean, no offense to LCCDC because it's not their, they didn't do it, but it's just not an attractive metal.
it's not. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
You
rather
could-
us put
I
it
wouldn't
in
take
that
it
single-
down
Yeah,
until
you come up
such
that
time
far.
as you, I would reserve knocking her down if you're going to, until such time as you decide what you're gonna do with the other buildings. And then maybe get another building fit and usable and then knock that rascal down.
Going to remove all that stuff that's in that cafeteria.
Ultimately, I guess they're supposed to. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and there's band equipment and all kinds of desks and stuff.
I've never.
been in.
I never
But
been-
until we're ready to do something, I don't know if they have an alternative. I would recommend the council just let them leave their stuff in there until we've got a plan and we're ready to move and make a decision and do stuff, and as a courtesy to the schools, because they'll have to scramble to find places to put all that
A
stuff.
lot of it, I would say, is trash.
There's a lot of old desks and stuff, and
It's not.
I'd say a good portion of it,
Use it in a current classroom.
probably not. I agree.
You haul it off if they asked us to.
Yeah, I mean, we can auction off the desks or something like that. and-
County landfill fees.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were drums in there, but it's been broken into a couple times, or at least once that I know of. And I think a lot of that stuff got damaged. There was like a band drum, and I think it got mushed and some other
Y'all
stuff.
like
So
me to contact Chairman Rowe and talk to him, or you wanna do it from the council level? What y'all wanna do?
what's that?
He
I
was
can,
asking-
I can contact Chairman Rowe and find out what they're planning to do and report to council next week.
We can find out. Yeah.
I think that'd be great. I just have one other question in reference to the building. I know, Council Miller was asking about, using it
For the football
Gators,
team.
For the football team.
I don't think that's going to be any problem to continue using it for the football team, simply because we're going to take possession very shortly. But irregardless, I think we can. They don't have a lease anymore. That was exterminated or terminated when the schools gave the property to the county. So there's really no lease for it. If I can accelerate the pace of getting the deed recorded, it really shouldn't be much to get this done. So if we can get that juggle recorded.
Right, to allow Councilman Miller and the Gators to use that building.
Well, the county does right now. So as the county administrator, I can't speak on behalf of the county, but I can tell you I don't think they'd have a big issue with it. And I can bring it to the Board of Supervisors. They're technically the owners at the next opportunity. I'll speak to John, the chairman, and make sure it's cool. All right. I don't know if you need to even vote on that because there's not anything proposed at this moment. I would just say to prevent you from having to make major repairs or upgrades or something that may be requested, I would just let it ride. Well, you put that light bill down there. And, well, part of it too is that light bill down there can run $900 in the wintertime. And we paid it, I think we paid an $800 light bill or a portion of it at least one time.
The doors, didn't we, and the security cameras?
I didn't do the security cameras. I hadn't done that yet. The doors were ordered and they were wrong, and so we sent them back. And I don't know if the new ones are here yet, so I can find out. They didn't fit. No. Madam Chair, between you and the mayor and everybody present, as far as handling these properties and buildings, I'm assuming we're going to stay with this committee for issues associated with that property, not Parks and Rec. We're going to stick with buildings and grounds.
I'd
Yeah.
much rather go to buildings and property than Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec needs to concentrate on recreation.
Activities. Gotcha. Okay, so we'll be talking and doing stuff, and I guess the first tangible step that we can take is tearing down that old building. I was just planning on doing that this winter sometime when we're a little slower. We got our leaves up and
Remember when we were putting the committees together, we thought it would be great
Mhm.
for Eric to be on here as as chair of Parks and Rec.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, item number 2, BB&T Bank. I've had conversations with both Dennis Rapp and his real estate agent, Jack Horner. They've been messing with buying that building probably 6 months on and off and waiting on environmental study to be finished and that sort of thing. And I had expressed to them, certainly Dennis, some interest in the town potentially leasing about half the first floor to move the DMV and Treasurer's office over there. It's about 3,000 square feet, and I'll hold this up very quickly so you can orient yourself. If you're looking at this drawing, this would be the Main Street side. Okay. This would be Main Street. This would be the main entrance. Okay. You have that large lobby area. This has already been framed in as a glass office right there. Okay. The portion that we discussed with Mr. Horner, the realtor, is basically renting everything from that existing wall back this way. And it was over 3,000 square feet.
Really?
It's a lot of room.
What's going over there with the glass wall there, do we know?
Nothing. I mean,
I don't know what else they've
no,
got
there are
planned.
no plans for any of it.
But I have discussed with him, and Mr. Horner quoted me a price, and I can't afford it. I can tell you, $7,000 a month is beyond our current capabilities to deal with. It's not unreasonable on the square footage, about $2 a square footage, which I don't think is hideously out of market. It's just that I don't have
Did
$100,000.
you ever talk to Jack after I had mentioned that?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Did he tell you anything different number-wise?
Well, yeah, he said, "Just throw me a number, give me a number, give me a number." I dare say that number's probably half of that, 7. You can get in that sweet spot, $3,000-$4,000 a month. They're willing to do the renovations, as I understand.
I've got the plans of just the outside because DBI, it falls in downtown district. So obviously DBI's architect did a rendering or Virginia Main Street of what it will look like on the outside, but that doesn't do anything inside.
The inside would be renovated, and as you can see on these drawings, there's a large, just one big room. That could be divided up into office for the treasurer and utilities and that sort of thing. The safe deposit box, I think, is kind of dead space to be storage because it's got safe deposit boxes in it. And this is more of a mechanical room, and then here in the back, just another office room.
What is a book vault?
And right now it's currently like, I mean,
It's just
I've got
a room.
keys if y'all wanted to go over there, but I think right now it's got like 40 filing cabinets in there. So I think it's more or less.
It's just a big room, it really all
Yeah.
is. But the one in the front that says storage, that's kind of a mechanical room. It's got panel box, it's got electronics, things like that. I don't think it's a terrible idea, and I think it makes some sense long term. But man, I just can't tell you we can come up with $100,000 a year. Like you said.
How much is this costing us?
As far as rent,
This building, this place?
we own it, so the only true cost that we have is insurance and utilities.
Right.
Utilities are probably, I'm gonna guess about a minimum, so you're probably $75 on utilities, and I would say annual a month. And I would say that, that's just water and sewer. I'd say you're probably spending $275 a month.
To run this whole place?
Do you see a need to expand? And if so, which areas would you see the expansion in?
I would say moving them across the street, and that would free up the girls, Jackie and Mary. They could go across the hall. This room, I hope at some point you guys will be meeting in the armory. Ultimately, bigger, more chairs, more space.
Chastity's in a closet right now, aren't
She's
you?
in a closet, but I would plan on things like a better map room, things like community development, things like that, that could expand into those offices those ladies are in. This room ultimately would be probably a big conference room and a map room of some kind.
What are the possibility of, when we move to the Armory, expanding this over here, more spaces for the DMV and over here with like two sides to come
We
in?
get the hallway
If we
there.
don't, get that building,
We potentially could do something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's out of the question. I'll be honest with you, what attracts me is the drive-through. If it didn't have the drive-through, I'd probably be like, nah, we've got it.
It's just, I mean, just thinking out loud, but, being on Main Street
Mhm.
as a person in town, wanting to see the town grow, my opinion, I don't see moving the town offices to Main Street as helping the town
Not a
grow.
good retail.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's an opportunity. I mean, there was chatter about a potential, mini mall, small gift shops, kind of setups
That
in
is
there.
the idea of
you know,
tax.
That would be,
Producing.
I mean, that's my thoughts. And plus, this isn't costing 35. I mean, best case, that's what you're saying over there, 100 a month.
So including insurance, maybe $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, that's $12,000 a year.
And there's no more banks or anything interested in purchasing that
Not
building?
that I'm aware of. I think Dennis may have talked to.
Dennis is it's one of the guys I work for, so that's why Philip points at me. So, full
I'm not-
disclosure,
yeah,
I'm
I'm not
staying
implicating
completely
him in the
biased
deal,
in all
but-
this.
He knows Dennis and they deal with each other.
But no, Dennis is one of those that he just likes to purchase properties and to help benefit. Obviously, it benefits him as well, but sometimes, as Wes knows, he'll just throw money into a building and redo all, like Wes's buildings downtown. He just recently redid
Does he own the building here?
all the.
Oh,
front-
yeah, the strip down, yeah.
Yeah.
And they look nice. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh.
been painted. look
And the
good.
grant from DBI,
Oh, yeah, it helped.
that helped.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, you know,
It looks great, yeah.
yeah, they don't
Signs
mind,
are
and they
attractive.
maintain the properties well. I mean, if there's an issue tonight, I'll call and,
He's done a lot of work. He bought the Barrett Grocery Company building. Boy, that thing was just an eyesore for years, and then it was sold one time, and that fellow put 4 apartments in the upstairs, and Steel Banger's weight room.
Steel Banger's is
and
there. They put a
everything.
hair
He's got a gun
salon
shop
in there now.
one time, and, you know, Dennis has purchased it from him, and the front of the building looks all.
Oh, no doubt.
Put a great storefront on there.
it's really nice.
Yeah, he does a good job of the building.
Is there any talk of what, it looks like what you're talking about, Dennis would give the
Dennis
town
said,
60%,
Dennis said, take the whole thing for that one price.
take the
Okay.
whole,
Yeah.
No, I hadn't.
Just because he doesn't want to worry about separating stuff at this point. He said,
I'll
take
bet you
the
square footage, you're pushing what town hall is.
Oh, yeah.
This is the equivalent of another.
if you got the whole thing, and then you could make DBI's office in there, you could do a whole, you know, you got, that's much more appealing to me.
If that's the deal, I haven't had that
Hmm.
conversation with Dennis, but if that's the deal, for the same amount of money,
7,000 square feet on the first floor.
so half is 3,500 square feet, so, there's a big conference room in the back. I mean,
I
Are
mean, if
you
y'all
saying-
want, we can
are-
go over that. I'm
I
not
just don't
selling
they got it
it.
upstairs?
It
Yeah.
does have an
So
upstairs.
what would be up there if,
you know, he's talking, now, he has spoken to me about upstairs and I think apartments or some kind of a
Yeah, he's not sold on it, but.
housing or something likely, I mean, it doesn't make good retail on the second floor, so.
Make sure I'm hearing you right, so he's talking about the whole lower floor? That, you know,
And
I can't-
logistic
yeah,
wise also, because you see where the bathrooms are actually on the side that you wouldn't have. So it'd be easier just to say the whole thing.
I hadn't heard that part of it. Why don't we go to visit? Why don't we go take a walk through it?
Sounds cool to me.
Next time,
Yeah.
go take a walk through it, and I don't think they're dying, and I think he'd like an answer, but I don't think we have to make a.
is there any more business to come before the committee?
Only if you have questions,
Okay, so this is the last item?
this is the last agenda item. If you'd like to talk about cemetery or any of the properties in town, anything like that.
Everything hold up well in the cemetery with all that rain.
No, I'll be honest with you, some of the graves are settled, the new graves, a few that settled, the head wall done.
Like Yeah, so around the head wall held up fine.
Didn't wash, and didn't have any. I think the head wall had worked. The cemetery fund, not perpetual care, but cemetery fund was able to pay for that, so you didn't have to use any direct general fund. You know, I'm still picking up flowers. You know, people fuss about flowers, but I think people are better about not just leaving stuff on the ground, teddy bears and litter bombs and all that kind of stuff. When they vast improvement. I will be, as soon as we get through this cash period, we have in the budget where we're gonna digitize all the cemetery records, and so we'll be getting started on that here before too long. I'm still using that old ledger book.
It's brittle as it can be and old and.
I think it needs updating in a few places. We can go take a walk through it, and if you wanna do it at a time that's convenient for you sometime during the day,
I got time now. If you wanna do it now, it's fine. If you don't, that's fine too.
Right
I was
now.
gonna say,
It'll take
let's
10
do it
minutes
now.
to do it, so
Let's roll.
we'll just keep the meeting